I am Sunny Kokkaravallayil, a Jesuit teaching in the Faculty of Eastern Canon Law at the Pontifical Oriental Institute in Rome. I am from India and I belong to the Syro-Malabar Church. We are going to talk about patriarch, the figure of patriarch, and about the Indian church. In the ancient churches, apostles preached gospel in different places and they entrusted the continuation of preaching to their disciples. Gradually, in different places, churches originated and developed, and more people were added to these churches. There was the need of having a liturgy, there was the need of having a legal arrangement, there was the need of having a certain amount of structure, there was the need of having somebody to guide the community, all those things. Therefore, each of these churches began to be ordered according to some criteria. The first churches after Jerusalem were Rome, Antioch, Armenia, Alexandria, Mesopotamia. In those churches, it was the need of having a common head for all the dioceses which developed in these areas. By the time of the First Council of Nicaea, already the fathers of the synod talked about a common head for the church in this area. Middle of the 5th century, the structure of each church got consolidated and gradually emerged the figure of the patriarch. We can say that the patriarch is the head of a church in a locality under whom there were various dioceses. So, in the Catholic Church, there is not only the Pope and the local bishops, but there is an intermediary who is normally the patriarch. There are 6 patriarchal churches in the Catholic Church. They are Armenian Church, Chaldean Church, Coptic Church, Maronite Church, Melkite Church, and Syrian Church. Who decides which should be the patriarchal church and which should not be the patriarchal church? It is the Pope or an ecumenical council which decides. Mostly the ancient churches are named patriarchal churches. Patriarchs in the Eastern Catholic churches have very ample power. They, together with their synod of bishops in the patriarchal churches, can create a diocese, they can appoint bishops. In India, there are 3 sui juris churches: Latin, Syro-Malabar, and Syro-Malankara. The origin of the Indian church is attributed to the preaching of Apostle Thomas. Therefore, the original Christians of India are called St. Thomas Christians. In the 4th century, the Indian church began to be supported by the East Syrian church, which was in the Mesopotamian region. In the 4th century, there was an immigration with a group of people, faithful, who brought with them a bishop, a few priests, deacons, the structure of mass, and other useful things to establish a church. From then on, the Indian church began to be part of the East Syrian church. Therefore, from 5th to 6th century, the bishops of India used to come from the patriarch of the East Syrian church. Therefore, in those years, in those centuries, the Indian church had the patriarch in the figure of the head of the East Syrian church. This relationship of the Indian church with the East Syrian church continued until the 16th century, more precisely 1599, until the Synod of Diamper. In that synod, the Latin bishops forced the Indian church to cut their relationship with the patriarchal church of the East Syrian area, and the Latin bishops became the bishops of the St. Thomas Christians. Today, the St. Thomas Christians are divided into 2 Catholic churches and several non-Catholic churches. The 2 Catholic churches are Syro-Malankara Church and Syro-Malabar Church. The Indian churches, Indian Eastern churches, do not have at present any patriarch. The heads of these 2 churches are called Major Archbishop. Major Archbishop has almost equal power of a patriarch. The Syro-Malabar Church has about 4 million faithful, and the Syro-Malankara Church has about 500,000 faithful. Indian Church is a growing church. We have the possibility of evangelizing, and some people come even today to the Catholic Church. So the Indian Church has a good hope of growing. Only about 1.5 of the Indian population is Catholic. Still, the Indian Church is very hopeful, and it has the hope that it can evangelize many more people.